Well, hello everyone. Joanne Williams here. And I am going to do today's podcast on some compelling strategies I've used in my 30 years as a mental health professional with my clients with success. And I hope it can help you to make your life just a little easier and have less anxiety and more confidence. So sit back and listen and practice what we share today as a way to really find more happiness, knowing that this is never a replacement for your own medical or psychological professional in your life. But today's summary of today's show is why your 50s can be the most dangerous decade and how your children can be part of that problem. And 3 things you can do today to improve your emotional intelligence. So here are some of the things we're going to cover. What are the factors to live through your 50s healthily? EQ and IQ, or emotional quotient and emotional intelligence, and my new theory on why living through your 50s can be especially hard. 3 things you can do to live a happier life in your 50s if you start now. Question of the day: how are the habits I form today going to help me tomorrow and beyond? And I noticed something this week that I thought I would share today to help you survive through your 50s. I had read an interesting insurance statistic that if you can live to 60 years old, you have a higher statistical probability you'll live to 80 years old. And I had 2 professional colleagues die this year, one 51-year-old counselor and a 59-year-old mentor. That really made me think about a syndrome that I had seen now in my own family and friends now, and witnessed that are dying in their 50s. And it really made me think it may be more about disillusionment, that they just not meeting expectations anymore, their family life, their career expectations, or maybe they're just kind of giving up on life because they have not reached those goals that they felt that they should have. Not to mention a global pandemic right now, adding another level of financial and health stressors. Or the probability of losing your home now in your 50s could be financially devastating, especially according to an article by Liz Weston in Nerd Wallet. Les Weinstock, in this article states, if the economy tanks, 50-year-olds are the first to go. So staying current in your field is really important. And Weinstock recommends that you should ask younger coworkers to help you stay up to date with the latest technologies used in your office. For example, to stay relevant. This is a great way for you to learn from somebody else and to build more relationships, Weinstock says, which is a key for several reasons. And I'll talk about the emotional quotient reason later. But when it comes to relationships, more is better. And Weinstock urges older workers to keep growing their networks, since most jobs are found through someone you know. Losing a job is almost always traumatic in your 50s. Job loss can be devastating and devastatingly common, he says. So he says to save more, save earlier, and borrow less. Many people find their ability to save is hampered by the amount of debt they have. Federal Reserve statistics shows that households headed by people 45 to 54-year-old owe more than twice as much in 2016 as in households in 1989. It costs more to live. And I think there's more pressures to show more. And this can be a big stressor if you can avoid it. Here's another one. Wean your kids. And I'm going to talk more about this in the 3 things you can do to stay happier. Many parents provide their adult children with with some financial support, and it's typical for household expenses rather than for emergencies. So look at that. I see these also as whether you're accumulating better, healthy daily habits that will sustain you in hard times or will hold you back if you haven't established these. As I wondered about this new syndrome of dying in your 50s, I actually looked at 5 close family or friends that died in that 50-year range. These 2 close colleagues and mentor were 51 and 59. One died unexpectedly of heart issues and one of breast cancer without ever telling a soul. And it really made me think that there is something here. And again, I suspect it is kind of disillusionment or depression as part of emotional components of these deaths that they may have given up subconsciously or consciously on being able to keep up with the expectations of life with more pressures, in your 50s, and their tendencies maybe to put pressures on themselves. Maybe they were overachievers and they're not achieving like they used to. And I think the scariest part of all is that they may have appeared very happy. I think a lot of times the jolliest of friends or family are the ones we should put more attention on. They seem the happiest, and they sometimes maybe you're feeling more sadness inside than they're showing, and they're covering it up with their laughs or smiles, and they are fooling us. And so maybe we're not seeing the sadness, or we're not noticing that, or maybe it's our denial on our part, or avoidance might even be a better word for it. We want to avoid this. And I see that maybe it is about not creating good daily habits to sustain our true happiness. Then it can go into the other direction with stress and increased pressures as we age, which can go into these physical ailments of stress. Or maybe it's low emotional quotient or EQ or emotional intelligence, which is defined as the capacity to recognize our own emotions and those of others and discern between different feelings. An ability to use our emotional information to guide our thinking and behaviors and adjust these emotions to adapt in our environment. Daniel Goleman defined EI, emotional intelligence, is typically associated with empathy because it involves an individual's connection or connecting their personal experience with those of others. So the emotional quotient really is about adapting and about understanding how to use our emotions in this equation, which anyone can improve to feel happier and adapt to in our transitions, especially in our 50s. This is one of the components I use in what I call my Thrive system, as I work with clients to help them understand the interactions between our thoughts and our emotions that affect our behaviors or the outcomes really in our life. I am currently putting together a supportive community to build more confidence as we age, but in social situations also to feel that more confidence as maybe we're stepping back from those because we're using Zoom. But using these in my Thrive system as an example of how to use EQ to feel more secure, more confident about your abilities as you move into these transitional ages or stages in our life, because I'm seeing an increase in depression right now in my clients and a need for more of these skills on how to deal with these better with the pressures of life. because I do see them affecting us physically if we don't figure this out. You can learn new skills to adapt and make those transitions in your life easier. Don't give up or get disillusioned. That's not going to help. Find ways, and I'm going to give you 3 here in just a minute, to keep up and to change your mindset. But if you are noticing somebody, a friend, family member that maybe has lost their smile, or you can see the pain behind the giggles, share this with them, please. Help them to notice and strongly encourage somebody to reach out to get a better perspective about things or encourage counseling. That is included in all health plans. On the back of a medical card, there's an 800 number for the medical plans that are covered on your health plan. Or EAP at your work, Employees Assistance Program. You look in your HR handbook for an 800 number that you get 6 counseling sessions. But to help you develop something that you can look forward to, that you can do in your life now, as this transitions happen, it's going to happen. But here are some things these are some things you could offer somebody that you love that maybe are in their 50s or transitioning or floundering maybe because they've lost their job in COVID or their business or maybe losing their home. And when things start to pile up, it's harder. Or if you got teenagers in your home, with expectations, needing more money, thoughts about college, the pressures just continue to mount. But here are 3 things that anybody can use, but especially people in these transition ages, to find more purpose, more meaning when you are needing more money, to be more productive, to keep it all, those balls being juggled right now, to do all the things that are needed if you do have children still in your home, but that you can do today to move into better emotional intelligence. Number 1, lower the pressures and expectations on yourself. Sometimes that pressure is internal. It's not all outside of you. But if you are somebody who might be an overachiever, think you have to do these things, you must do things, maybe get more realistic. What do I have to do? Or maybe you're taking on more responsibilities that aren't yours. It's really important to check out that you are not taking on something that really is somebody else's stuff or responsibilities that are not truly yours. If you're a fixer or trying to make sure everybody's happy, but leaving yourself out in that happiness. Stay in your own lane. What is yours to take care of? Dial it back to you. Sometimes we think we are responsible for how our children turn out. Understand, they are making the choices. They have to pay the consequences of those choices. I feel that it is our responsibility as parents to teach them responsible behaviors, life skills, emotional intelligence by your example, but not to fix things or fix their messes that they created. They need to see the consequences sometime. So maybe look at what you are taking on with others and increase your belief that you will figure this out. I can work this out. Maybe with a 5-year plan instead of a 1 month, 5 month, 6-month plan, or looking at it even within 1 year. Bill Gates said something like, we seem to over expect what we can get done in 1 year and underestimate what we can get done in 5 years. So start maybe looking at a 5-year plan for finances, for debt, what you need to get done to create that happiness in your life. What do you need to get clear on? What you want more in your life and what you choose now as your next transition. Maybe it's called for a clarity plan and decrease your doubts and increase your happiness, enjoyment factor. If you are noticing more disillusionment with life, or if you can't seem to keep all those balls going, juggling in the air, or sadness or overwhelm or feeling stuck, to me, that's the beginning of depression. And you are just digging a hole that you may not be able to get out of yourself with that kind of thinking. And this, to me, is when the danger starts that needs to be looked at. And maybe it's subconscious as you're not aware of it, of some of the habits that are creating this. Get aware of it. Because otherwise, this can go into depression or truly giving up on life, and without even recognizing it. Like I said, I had this colleague, 51 years old, that his heart gave out. Is that a metaphor? He was a counselor. Was he giving too much out and not receiving enough in? My mentor, 59, my brother was just 64 years old when he died. But it seemed like the same thing. He just kind of couldn't do the same things, getting up on a roof and fixing things, having the energy to be able to be productive in competition with the younger guys, making enough money that he needed. And it doesn't feel like there's a lot of support around us, or that we even think about this or talk about this anymore. Just like an expectation of get it done. But maybe you could notice if somebody is not smiling. Maybe give them a little support. Ask them, not just how you're doing. I don't see your smile like you used to. And listen, just listen. You don't have to fix it. Number 2, get happy. Change your mindset. I can do this. I will do this. I don't know how some days, but I know I will. I just know I will. What daily actions can you take to be happier? What can you do to enjoy just something to give back to yourself that you can do right now? Do you enjoy puzzles, playing cards, walking, taking a ride? There's adult coloring books that can be mesmerizing, just coloring, painting, picking things up that right now that you would enjoy, music, whatever it is. Find something that's wonderful that helps you to feel more enjoyment. Smiling is one of the most underrated things you could do to feel happier. I did a whole podcast on smiling. There's so much data on just smiling can help. Truly feeling it in your heart, though, not faking it. Increase your EQ, number 3, or your emotional quotient or intelligence. Start by recognizing the 4 main emotions everybody has: happy, sad, mad, or scared. Happy, sad, mad, or scared. Get used to saying it out loud. I'm really happy when we do this together. Or to your kids even, let's go do something fun. I have so much fun and get so much joy and happiness doing this with you. They'll be floored. Or I am really sad when I see it, that you doing these things that are not helping your life. Or, yeah, I'm scared about losing the house. I am. Maybe we're all going to have to pitch in. I don't know what we're going to do right now, but I know if we all pull together, we can do this. Or mad, I'm angry, you guys. This is a no more of this. You've got to figure this out. I can't keep pulling you out of your messes. You got to figure this out. I got to take care of me now. But use this to recognize also your emotional states and saying it out loud. Reach out if you feel stuck or overwhelmed. Don't allow doubt or disillusionment or expectations from others to get to you. Stand up for yourself. There's nobody else that's going to do this. You have to. Keep moving forward, step by step. That's all you have to do. Step by step. My new saying is keep moving forward, step by step, to feel more satisfied. Satisfied is good if you can't get to happy. Just feeling okay is good, or content is great. This is by no means a replacement for therapy or any medical attention. If you need it, always reach out and take care of yourself. Or if you are feeling like you want to hurt yourself, there's always somebody standing by at 1-800-273-8255 or call 911. 1-800-273-8255. Please reach out. And please listen to more of my podcast. I hope they're helpful. And support our podcast by rating, reviewing, and subscribing, please. Show your support. And remember to use and practice the skill we talked about today to feel more joy in your life. And go to our website, anxietysimplified.net, for more. Or to get a certified emotional support or psychiatric service dog today that can really bring a lot of laughter and joy in your life. And remember to share the love.